Busy Explore back with another one. So before we jump in here, I saw there were a lot of comments about Slim Dash, one of our guest producer. So if you want more of Slim Dash, you can follow him here, Slim Dash RSA, and then you can see he posted a video one day ago about mass music, Gabs at the small and Kelvin Momo. Sofu Amapiano. Tanko. Hope to see him again as another guest producer. And then so it's not about that, and then we're gonna jump in here. So there's this one, Tefo Mokoena, saying, can you do mixing and mastering step by step? Don't worry. Yabona loko kuvulela ivolume lokho kuphela iraba. Mara ngizokulungisela kona manje. I think it come. So let's do it. And then so I'm just gonna create something simple, something very simple. And then so you get the whole idea. But the structure of mixing and mastering is to... What's important when it comes to mixing and mastering, when you're doing mixing, so you're gonna start with the simplest or the factor or the smallest things, which is the drums. And when you make music, you always start with the drums. So the drums gonna be the first thing, and then the second one will be the melodies, and then the bass will follow, and then vocals will follow. So let's do that now. I'm just gonna create a simple drum loop. This is what I have at the moment. And then I'm gonna put a shaker here. Okay, just simple like that. And if you check, in all these tutorials, I'm using the same sounds. Why? It helps when you're doing mixing and mastering, because if you're working with the same sound, so you know where to put them, so you don't literally stress it a lot down using different sounds. So I'm just gonna add the melody, and then I'm gonna select this one, and then here what I'm gonna do, gonna go to our scale, our stamp, remember, minor 9. Just gonna try and keep it simple, so you get the whole idea about mixing and mastering. You see, this is what I have, something simple. And then the next thing which I'm gonna move to, it's I can put the string. So I'm not creating a full beat, just creating a small beat. And then the next thing is our bass. So I'm gonna add our sub bass, which is this. Okay, we have our sub bass, and then you see, keep it simple. I'm gonna put this. So I'm not gonna do arrangement, I'm just creating everything here, and then this is the last sound, and then we're gonna do our mixing. These police, they want me, I'm here, busy exploring. hope when I record here don't stop. Hopefully. Tell me what's going on. Tell me. Let me try again. Yeah, I had to stop fast. Let me check if it's recording here. I might find out this thing is stopped. Hello? Still fine. Because I decided to connect this, I'm able to record. Let me stop this. Na 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 just gonna take this potion, at least to add vocals so people get the whole idea how to do it. Na 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 na. So what I'm gonna do with the vocals, just gonna select smooth so they're smooth, and then you just select smooth. You see this one create small curve because it was like this. So select smooth so the vocals are smooth, so it doesn't have when it like usually if you chop them and then you play them they started something like so this is what I have. This is our track, and then now when it comes to mixing, so this is what I want to do. So I'm gonna switch off everything and then only select the drums. So let me just go back to the order. So I wrote down this order for you. So the order is like this. So we're gonna start with the drums, and all the drums we're gonna start with the kick, and then once we're done with the kick, the clap and the other things here will follow, like snare. If it was a snare, then you can have things like snare, depends on the track, or ream, or there's more, or snap. So it depends on your which one you want to follow with, or which one is the next one. So the kick, clap and more. And then on the instruments we're gonna use the instrument that's appearing the most, which here we have hypersonic. So we're gonna use hypersonic, and then the other ones will follow. Once we're done, and then we're gonna have the bass. So once we're done with the bass, we add the vocals. And then once we are done with the vocals, if you have effects like crashers, hits and reads, and then we put them. But then here we're gonna stop on the vocals. So we have these, the drums, the instruments, the bass and the vocals. So when I'm doing mixing, what I do is, as I said, I'm gonna switch off everything except the drums, since I'm starting with the drums. And then I'm gonna select all the drums, and then let me move this to here. And then what I want to do here, I'm going to send the drums to here. So now I have my drums. Say I have my drums. So on the master, let me master. So on the master, what I have, it's empty. But what I want to put on the master is I want to put this thing called a Pro L2. What it does, it helps to analyze things. It's very important to have this one. And the order here is very important, because if I decide to put a parameter EQ here, and then do this, and then put an analyzer before the parameter EQ, which is this. So this one is before the parameter EQ, this one is after the parameter EQ. So if I play this, you will see that we get different readings. Look. Whoa. Whoa. You see this one after the parameter EQ. So, which means this one doesn't read anything. So I'll advise you put these things at the bottom. The order is very important. So I'm gonna delete this and then delete this and then have that analyzer at the bottom. So now this is what we do. So on the kick, as I said, always use the same sound. It's very important because if you're using the same sound, you don't have to stress much. On the kick, this is my kick. What I want to do, so I'm just gonna leave it like this because I like my kick where it is. I usually leave my kick at this point. The only thing, if maybe I want to manipulate the kick, I add the parameter EQ and then do some stuff. But my kick is fine at this level, which is hitting here, which I'm happy with it. And then the next thing which I'm gonna move to is the clap or the other sounds. So the other sounds in the drum group. So what you want to do with the other sound on the drum group, you need to note this. So you need to make sure that you get rid of the bass if you don't want the bass. So like I can see, this is my clap. I can see this part is red. And you might say, well, we can't hear that bass on the clap. It's there because we can tell because this part is red. So what you want to do is you're gonna add this 40 hertz cut and then you just adjust it. Because even if I do this, the clap is still the same. You can't tell any difference. You see, so we want to deal with that. And then I'm gonna put it somewhere here to get rid of this bass part because we already have a bass, so we don't want to cause an issue with our bass. And then what I do is I'm gonna put a little bit of reverb and then I'm gonna adjust the clap. Let me move it next to the kick. Well, I'm happy with this. So some might say, okay, so this is a problem because one is it's higher than the other one. Well, not really. So if you feel like it's too loud for you, so on the bass I'm gonna do this. So when I'm just reducing this, I'm reducing the highs. So if you feel like it's too loud for you, most people they use side chaining to level this thing. But if you don't know how to side chain, what you can do, you can use a kickstart. So this is a kickstart. So what you want to do on the kickstart, you want to target the part when the kick and the head, when the kick and the clap hit at the same time. So which is gonna be 1/2. So if I play it and then it's not that part, I need to move it to that exact part. You see, which is that part. You see, and then what I can do, I can adjust this volume now. You see, almost at the same level. But then if you feel like on your side it's fine, you can just leave it like that. Cause well, okay, now it's at the same level. So the next thing what I want to do is this. I'm on the head. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put a parameter EQ and then use this one. Even on my head you can see this part is red. Even if it's not too much red, but you can tell that there's a bass. So I want to get rid of it. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of reverb. And then what I want to do here on the shaker now, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna select the 40 hertz cut and then I'm gonna reduce it. Another thing, I feel like the shaker is too loud, I'm gonna put another parameter EQ, remove these highs. And then what I'm gonna do after, I'm gonna put the reverb. Okay, you see, it's already nice, it's clean. You see what we have is already clean here. Okay, so we're done with our drums, right? So the next thing which you're gonna move to, it's the melodies. So on the melodies, the one that's appearing the most on the project could be this one, because it's the melody. So you're gonna start with. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send it to the mixer, and then what I want to do with this one, I want to add the parameter EQ. I want to cut off the bass, but not like 100% of the bass. I want some of the bass, so I'm just gonna do some adjustment and move it. And then another thing which I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a reverb. Then I'm gonna try and boost this just a bit. So you see, it's already clean. And then the next one is I'm gonna move to this one because it's the same as this one. So I'm gonna send it to the mixer and then I switch it on. You see, I do things one by one. Gonna add the parameter EQ, get rid of the bass maybe. Then adjust the volume. So what I want to do, I want this string to play on the left and right. But what if I don't know how to pen correctly? What do you do if you don't know how to use penning the right way? So what you do is Fruity Stereo Shaper. So Fruity Stereo Shaper does the penning for you. So it's gonna play on the left and right at the same time. So you can use Stereo Rise or Stereo Rise 2 or 3. So I'm just gonna use 2. So that's how I do penning. I don't literally do this penning of maybe some of the sound on the left and right, some to play on the left, some on the right. Like it causes like issues for me. I'm struggling. I just prefer to use Stereo-Rise. And then the next sound will be this one. Remember, let's go back to our notes. We're still on the instruments. We add all these instruments. The bass, the last thing. Now we're still on the instruments. So we add this one, send it to the mixer. I'm gonna put a parameter EQ, cut off this bass, and then switch it on. Then I'm gonna add some reverb. So we're happy with everything, right? And then the next thing which we move to is the bass, because we're done with everything. So the bass, and then I'm gonna send this bass to the mixer. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you this project, this FLP. So I'm gonna give you the FLP, so you'll be able to use this preset what I've used here. So on the bass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sound goodizer, and then I know my bass because my bass matches the kick. So I keep my bass roughly in 50 to 54. So I'm gonna start at 50. That's fine. 52. Okay, maybe 49. I can't tell any difference. I'm gonna leave it at 51. You see, and then we're done. And then the next thing now is to switch on this. So I'm gonna switch on this my vocal. So since I'm done with the bass, because if we check, we're done with the bass, now we're in the vocal. So now I'm gonna switch on the vocal, send it to the mixer. This is my vocal. Na 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 na. So I'm just gonna freestyle on this vocal. What I'm gonna do is I wanna have the CV the Great type kinda style. So I'm gonna put a delay. And then what I do next, I put reverb, more reverb. And then what I do next is I put this, and then sidechain. I hope it will be fine. If not, and then I need to figure out to it. Vocals where we were singing and you want to get rid of those, so let me switch off everything here on the vocals in case you were singing, so you can add the ds. So what the ds do, it deal with things like and then it just get rid of that. So if I play it now and then you get, so it's just no more high. Let me reset this pitch and then you see, unless my vocal doesn't have this, na na na, doesn't you see, na na na, na 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 na, but I can make it to have that. So you see, let me just increase this, na na na, steady, na na na, na 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 na, see, because there's a lot of C and then it just na na na. So the TS is able to get rid of those things and then it handles them for you. So for now I'm just gonna remove it and keep it simple and just see, this is what I have. So another thing which I can do, I can make this thing to play on the left and right at the same time. So I'll use this fruity stereo shaper and then I go to stereo too. You'll see. I can play on the left and right at the same time. Okay, we're done with our mixing, right? Let me open this. Look. You can see everything is sitting here, so which we have more room for mixing, for mastering here. So even if it can hit maybe somewhere here, it's still okay, which will be roughly 2 or 1.5, which is still okay, but it shouldn't hit here when we are mixing because you need this other room for mastering. So what do I do for mastering now, since okay, we're happy with everything? So what I do is I add the Maximus, the secret ingredient. Like this is the secret ingredient. So I add the Maximus and then I select Clear Master RMS. So what Clear Master RMS does, it makes it to be too loud. Not really too loud, it just boosts the volume and make it not to be distorted. So you see where it's hitting now. If I switch off the Maximus, you see? So Maximus boosted to be clear enough. Okay, look. You see? Now it's hitting where we want. That's why I was saying you need to leave this other space for the mastering. And then now on the Maximus we have the low and the mid and the high. So what do you want to do with the low? The low is the bass part. So we want the bass to be equal on the left and right. So there's this knob. This knob you can move it to the left, you can move it to the right. But if you move it to the left, it's called separation. In easy way, you can call it stereo if you move it to this side, which means you separate whatever that you be playing on the left and right, it will be playing according the way it's supposed to be. And then if you move it to this side, so this side is called mono, so which means it's called merge, which is mono, which means whatever that you be playing on the left and right will be exactly the same. So for the bass, what we want to do, we want our bass to be equal, ne? On the left and right, and then we just keep it mono. And then the mids, what do we want to do with the mids? We don't want these mids to be mono. We want them to have this freedom just to play as they wanna play. So, but I'm not gonna just move it like this. So I have to play this thing and move it accordingly. And then when I'm happy, I stop. Okay, I'm happy at this point. And then now we move to the highs. Also on the highs, we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna play it. I need to play and then adjust. And at this point, you need to note this. So usually what's happening is sometimes it happens that some sounds they become more loud or more clear. So which means you need to adjust them, like the vocal. I'm just gonna try and reduce the volume. Then I'm happy. See? And then the last thing which you need, so you're gonna put it at the top. The last thing that you need a parameter EQ, which is 20 hertz plus 18 hertz cut or 30 hertz or 40 hertz. I prefer 20 hertz. So this is what it does. So it gets rid of these unnecessary bass. It's not like we can't. This unnecessary bass, sometimes you can't even hear this bass part. So just get rid of it. And also it gets rid of these unnecessary highs, which sometimes you can't get. We can't hear them. Like those, maybe it's just too much to the point that you can't hear them. So it gets rid of them. So that's what it does. And then so this is our track, and then at some point it happens that maybe you feel like the track is kind of low. It's in terms of the highs. So what you can do, you can put a parameter EQ and boost it, or if you feel like it's fine, you just leave it without the parameter EQ, and then you're just gonna boost the part where you feel like it's low. So have a problem. I mean, it's not a huge problem. If you still want to keep it at 0, if you feel like this is just causing problems for you, what you can do, you can go to the maximas to adjust that volume. So we have the low, the mid, and the highs. We're done, and then now we have this one, the master. So on the master, if we want to deal with this volume, if we want to adjust this volume not to be too loud, so we have pre and post. So pre, what it does is this: if I adjust this volume and I save this track, so if this volume was loud on the project, on the track it will sound different when it's saved. The post means if I adjust this volume here and I play this here, and then when I save the project, it will be exactly the same. So which means we need to change which one, the post, and then I'll just reduce the post. See? I mean, 2 is not bad. So 2 and 0.5 is not bad. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save it, and then we do comparison. It's very important. Just gonna save it and call it the one with mixing. Just gonna call it the one with mixing and mastering. I'm just gonna save it as master. High quality, doesn't make sense, doesn't make any difference. I'm just gonna save it as 24. Okay, this one is the one with mixing and mastering. Done. And then I want to save it again, and now I'm gonna switch off this other stuff, the one that do the mastering for us. So the one with only mixing. Okay, we need to do those comparisons so you see like how things are when they are mixed and when they are not mixed. And then now I'm gonna take those two vocals which are here. I mean those two sounds. The first one, that one is master, this one is mixing. So you can see the difference. If you compare the two, you can see. So if we play them and then we without mastering. See how it sounds. And then the one with mixing and mastering. Like it's clear and loud enough. So another thing, especially if maybe you're working or you want someone to, let me remove this. You want maybe a producer or a sound engineer or someone who do like mixing and mastering to do mixing for you. At some point they say, please send us a track at 6 dB. And if you look at this, you see our track is already at this level. See? So if they're saying send us a track at maybe 6 dB or maybe at 3, and then you're just gonna send this track at this level, you see, because it doesn't exceed this point, you see. So if you feel like maybe it's too much, and then I can try just to reduce the volume a little bit so they have more room, you see, and then I can send them this one, and then I'm gonna switch off these other things. So I'm just gonna switch on this thing and then send them the track at this level, and then they're gonna do mixing and then they're gonna do the mastering. Remember, if they say send a pre-mastered project, this is a project that maybe you worked on and then you did the mixing, so the other one will just do the mastering. So you just send the pre-mastered. This is pre-mastered, and then I just save it and send it to them. So yeah, that's how you do mixing and mastering. Danko.